Most people stopped being afraid of clowns when they grew up. They told themselves it was just a costume, just face paint, just someone doing a job. But the three people you are about to hear from, they cannot say that anymore. The first is a woman who woke up at 2 a.m. to the sound of knocking on her front door and made the mistake of looking through the peephole. The second is a man who found photographs on his phone. He did not take hundreds of them, all featuring the same figure in white makeup, in places he had actually been, on dates he could actually confirm. And the third is a teenage girl who crossed a Walmart parking lot on a Tuesday night and was followed by the same clown. The same one, same face, same clothes, same red balloon, every single Tuesday for 11 weeks. These are not stories from Halloween. They're not pranks. They are not fiction. Every person in these accounts is real. Every location is real. And every detail you are about to hear was submitted to us directly by the people who lived through it. My name is your host, and this is True Terror Files Official, your number one source for the most bone-chilling true encounters ever documented. If you have been here before, you already know what we do. We do not exaggerate, we do not fabricate, and we do not let you off easy. If this is your first time, welcome, and I genuinely hope you are not watching this alone. Subscribe if you have not already, so you never miss a single story. Drop a comment when we are done, and tell me which one got under your skin the most. Turn the lights down if you are feeling brave, but leave yourself one way out, because once these stories are in your head, they do not leave. Let us begin. It was 2:17 in the morning when the knocking started. Not frantic. Urgent. Just 3 slow, deliberate knocks on Angela's front door. Evenly spaced. The kind of knock that carries the weight of someone who is entirely calm and entirely certain you are going to open it. Angela was 32, lived alone in a ground-floor apartment in a mid-sized city in Ohio. Had never had any issues with the neighborhood, and had been asleep for 2 hours when the sound pulled her fully awake. Her first thought was a neighbor with an emergency. Her second thought, arriving less than a second later, was that it was 2 a.m. and nobody knocking on a door at 2 a.m. with that kind of patience is there for a good reason. She did not call out. She got up quietly, crossed the living room in the dark, without turning on any lights, and looked through the peephole. The hallway outside was empty. Not just nobody at the door, completely unnaturally empty. The motion-sensitive hallway light not triggered. No sound of footsteps retreating. She stood there for 30 seconds, eye to the peephole. And then the knock came again, 3 slow, evenly spaced impacts from directly behind the door, no more than 2 feet from her face, and she could see through the peephole that there was no one there. She stepped back. She picked up her phone and called her sister, who told her it was probably pipes, probably the building settling, probably nothing. The knocking came a third time while she was on the phone, and her sister heard it clearly and went quiet. Angela moved to her bedroom, locked the door, pushed a chair under the handle, and sat on her bed with the lights on and her phone in her hand. She did not hear the knock again that night. But in the morning when she left for work, she found something in the hallway that had not been there when she came home the previous evening. A red balloon tied to the door handle of her apartment. Fully inflated, with no note attached, and no explanation for how it had gotten inside a locked building with a key card entry system. She reported it to building management. They reviewed the security footage from the overnight period and found a gap, 47 minutes of footage between 2:09 and 2:56 a.m. that the building's security provider could not explain and described in their written report as a recording error. Angela moved out before her lease ended. She paid the break fee without negotiating. On the day the moving truck came, she found a second balloon. Red, fully inflated, tied to the door handle of her new apartment across town. In a different building she had moved into 48 hours earlier and had not yet given her address to most of her contacts. The building had no security footage gap. The building had no explanation. Angela has not told many people this story. She told us because she wants someone to have a record of it. She still does not know how the balloons got there. She still does not know what was on the other side of her door that night. And she says that not knowing is somehow the worst part of all of it. Marcus was a software developer, methodical, precise, the kind of person who backs up his devices weekly and notices when things are out of place. He was not prone to anxiety, not prone to paranoia, and when he first discovered the photographs, his initial assumption was a software glitch, a corrupted sync from some forgotten cloud account, a batch of files pulled from somewhere else and dropped mistakenly into his camera roll. It was a rational explanation. It held up right up until the moment it didn't. The photographs appeared on his phone on a Thursday morning. He was scrolling through his camera roll, looking for a photo from dinner the previous weekend, and found himself suddenly looking at a face he did not recognize. White makeup, a red grin painted wide across the lower half of the face. Dark, hollow eyes. The image was taken at close range, the face filling most of the frame, with what appeared to be the interior of a car visible in the blurred background. He swiped. Another one, the same face, this time at a greater distance, standing at the edge of a parking lot at night, the image slightly blurred as though taken through glass. He swiped again, and again. There were 214 photographs in a sequence he had no memory of taking, spread across a date range of 6 weeks, and every single one featured the same clown in the same white makeup in locations that Marcus recognized. His grocery store, the gas station 2 blocks from his apartment, the park where he ran on weekends, the lobby of his office building, the parking garage at his gym. In every image, the figure was visible in a way that suggested it had been photographed without its knowledge at a distance, partly obscured, sometimes partially out of frame, as if someone had been following the clown and documenting it from a safe distance. The photographs were time-stamped and geotagged, and when Marcus cross-referenced the locations and timestamps with his own calendar, his meetings, his grocery runs, his weekend routes, every single one matched a place he had personally been within a window of 24 hours. Whatever had been following the clown was also somehow following him. He took his phone to a tech forensics specialist who confirmed the metadata was unaltered and that the photographs had been taken on his device by his device's camera. He contacted local police who took a report and did nothing further. He changed his phone, his number, and his daily routines. He told us that for 4 months after discovering the photographs. Every time he entered a parking lot or a public space at night, he found himself scanning the perimeter looking for a white face at the edge of the light. He has not found one again. He does not know whether that is because it stopped or because whatever was out there got better at staying hidden. It started on a Tuesday in September. Jade was 17, working a closing shift at a fast food restaurant adjacent to a large Walmart in suburban Georgia. And when she finished her shift at 10:45 p.m. and walked across the parking lot to her car, she saw a clown.
Near her across the lot,
standing beneath a light standard at the far end of the parking area, motionless in full costume. White face, red wig, oversized shoes, a red balloon on a string held loosely at one side. She got into her car, locked the doors, and drove home, telling herself it was someone coming from or going to an event, a party, a performance. There was always a rational explanation. The following Tuesday, closing shift, 10:52 p.m., she crossed the same parking lot, and the clown was there again. Same position, same light standard, same balloon, same complete stillness. She quickened her pace and did not look back. By the third Tuesday, she started asking colleagues to walk her to her car, but she did not tell them why. She said she thought she had a flat tire. She said she had dropped something. She said anything except the truth, which was that she was afraid that if she said it out loud, it would stop being something that could be explained away. By the fifth Tuesday, she started driving to work specifically so she could pull her car directly to the restaurant entrance and avoid crossing the lot entirely. The clown moved. It was there at the entrance now, not at the far light standard, but 30 feet from the door, still motionless, still holding the balloon, watching her walk from her car to the building. "Shh," she told her manager. Her manager walked outside with her and confirmed. There was a person in a clown costume, standing in the parking lot, in the cold, watching the entrance. Her manager called the Walmart security line. By the time anyone came outside to approach the figure, it was gone. On the 9th Tuesday, Jade's mother drove her to work and waited in the parking lot in her car during Jade's shift. At 10:41 p.m., she texted Jade a single message. "It's here." It was standing 12 feet from her car window. When Jade's mother rolled down her window and demanded to know what they wanted, the clown looked at her for a long moment and then raised the balloon slowly, held it toward her, and released it. They watched it rise into the dark sky. By the 11th Tuesday, Jade had transferred to a different location on the opposite side of the city. The following Tuesday night, the 12th, her former colleagues texted her to say the clown had been in the parking lot again at the usual time, at the usual light standard, and it had stayed there for 40 minutes before walking slowly, unhurriedly, toward the restaurant entrance, stopping at the door, and looking through the glass at the empty station where Jade used to stand. Then it turned and walked away into the dark. Jade never went back to that parking lot. She does not know who was under the makeup. She does not know what they wanted. She knows only that they knew her schedule, knew her face, and knew exactly when she stopped coming, and that the Tuesday after she transferred, they came anyway, one last time to check. 3 stories. 3 people who crossed paths with something wearing a painted smile. Angela still checks her door handle before she leaves for work every single morning. Marcus changed his entire daily routine and has not felt safe in a parking garage since. And Jade kept her new location a secret from everyone she knew for the first 6 months, just to be sure. Because the thing about these encounters is not just what happened, it is what it means going forward, the way it changes how you look at a parking lot at night, or a balloon tied to a door, or a photo on your phone you do not remember taking. Some fears you grow out of. These people did not. If you have had an encounter, if something happened to you that you have never told anyone because you were afraid they would not believe you, send it to us. The address is in the description. We believe you. Subscribe to True Terror Files Official and be the first to know when the next story drops. Like this video if it stayed with you. And tonight, if you hear a knock at your door at 2 a.m., do not look through the peephole.